All right. Pumpkins take 2. So we still have some pumpkins left over. So I went ahead and fed them to the mamas and the babies this morning. Zoom in a little. Unfortunately, when I threw them, they didn't break. So they're going to have to chew their own way in, which Celine's like, I don't understand. And Gwen's like, got it. Like, homework assignment accepted for Miss Gwen. Sorry, I know. Some of you are probably like, what's her name? Her name's Gwen. I love silly nicknames. It's just how I am. Hi, boys. So there's Bottle Baby, and there's his brother. Hershey Kiss is a little bit more fluffy, but very friendly. You know, anybody who's looking for commercial Kiko boys, they'll be ready after Christmas. We're kind of letting moms wean them, but I have a feeling about Christmas time I'm going to force the topic a little bit more. Mars is a little bit of a but. Yeah, you got to respect the big ladies, honey. So, Mars is the little brown one. He is not related to the other 2 boys. The little one with the white outer points is Snickers. And again, these are just nicknames. We're not going Gwen's other baby. That's how we keep track of them too. Mars is out of Celine, the brown doe that's heading this way. And his sister, there she is Baby Ruth. So Mars Bar and Baby Ruth. We did Candy this year. We're about 50-50 on keeping Baby Ruth. We'll just call her Ruth in that case. She'll keep the name because it was kind of sweet. But you got Cheddar the Bottle Baby, then Snickers next to him. You got Hershey Kiss, and then we had Mars Bar. So 4 little boys. Bleh. And 3 of them are full brothers. Mars is not related at all. Of course, that does no good to anybody, because not a single one of those ones are girls. Hi, sweetie. But if Ruth is for sale, she could sell with any of the triplets. If we keep her, obviously she's out of one of my bucks, so I'd have to breed her back to Draco, my big black one. The Kiko, not the boar. We're debating, because she kind of originally came out to be this kind of weird tan color, and I wasn't really feeling it. I've got a lot of variations of tan. It's kind of like if I had a beautiful white goat come out, it'd probably be like, well, I don't really want a white goat. I like breeding for color, so at least they stand out a bit. But she's turning silver, and she's nice and fluffy, which is different. And her personality is fantastic. She's got Mama's personality all the way. Very sweet, very good. See, Gwen is going to town on that pumpkin. She's going to have that sucker cracked open in 5 seconds. So I imagine some of you are thinking, well, you said 3 of them are triplets, but she obviously doesn't like that little kind of, well, palomino, golden, white baby in the back. That is hers. That is my Bottle Baby. She did reject him at about 48 hours old. Sometimes moms do that. Honestly, she seemed a little overwhelmed with triplet boys. Not the greatest, but it can happen. So he ended up being a Bottle Baby. He comes into the house every night, and we feed him up there, and then he comes out every morning. Now, why is my big white goat Gwen going around butting everybody? It's because she is the herd matriarch, and they are trying to take her food. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if they're your kid, your favorite kid, or your worst enemy. Goats are very defensive of their food. They will treat their favorite kid often like their worst enemy if they're trying to take food away from them. It's a goat thing. So, why do we feed pumpkins? Well, first of all, why not? It is a good source of vitamins. The seeds are a little bit of a natural dewormer, although I think you have to feed them way more often than just giving them a whole pumpkin in the fall. But it doesn't hurt a little bit. It kind of sets them up well going into the winter. Hopefully you have a lower worm count. All goats have worms. I mean, very rarely do you find somebody with 0, and it's probably just a lull. Although I'm not going to say that with 100% definitivity. I'm sure there's goats out there that maybe are 0 all the time. My herd is not. And I'm not trying to make them be. I'm trying to just raise hardy goats that are able to tolerate a worm load, tolerate all the other crap in the environment, and still grow out looking like, well, Celine here. She's a homegrown. She really isn't fed anything extra besides just a little bit of grain. And when I say a little bit of grain, I'm not talking a pound, a half a pound or anything. We're talking under half a pound. Co-op special goat feed. We mix in a tiny bit of alfalfa pellets just because we're trying to supplement the protein needs that they have. And really that's what the grain and the alfalfa pellets are all about. It's supplementation of what nutrients they can't get out of my pasture. And that's me being realistic. This area has a high sulfur, it has low zinc, and low selenium. I have to supplement that from somewhere. Loose minerals can only do so much, although it's all part of the big picture. We obviously offer those too. But at the end of the day, you need to supplement something. So, now, the boar goats, honestly, they'd do better. Would they be thriving? I think they'd be living fine. They wouldn't look as good as my mamas do. We probably have more issues when kidding. Honestly, Gwen's first set of kids we had issues. We had a very large baby, which sounds awesome until you hear the rest of the story, but he did not make it. So that's an issue I kind of like to avoid. Why? It could be many, many things. He had an enlarged thyroid under the base of his chin, so it could have been a couple different deficiency issues. It could have just been dystocia birth, or hard birthing. Hi, sweetie pie. You see, they're very friendly. And you got Miss Cara over here who also got a pumpkin. And she's got rocks. I was able to break hers open. So everything I just said about Kikos and feed, the boars don't really follow that rule. Boars require a little bit of a higher protein from what I've been able to tell through trial and error. They require a higher fiber content. It kind of helps settle their tummies and work better with them. And then I keep a very close eye on them for worms. Where Kikos are more worm resistant, boars just don't seem like they lack that. And so occasionally I will intervene and they will either get wormed herbally or they'll get wormed chemically. What's the difference? Herbal wormers are plant-based wormers. They're not synthesized or extracted. I still buy them from a person. I actually get mine from Molly's Herbals online in the United States. It's a fantastic setup. They have essentially a 1-2 program. You do one package 3 days every about 6 weeks is what we follow. And then once weekly you do the other package. You can make them into treats. I honestly know how cantankerous and just obstinate my goats can be. So I just do it as a dose. So I mix it with water and throw it down their back of the throat. Cara's not on it, but Miss Tootsie over there is. Cara seems like she handles her worms pretty good outside of direct kidding time. Although, to be honest, she's yet to have an unexcited or eventful kidding yet. Did you just eat that whole damn thing in one bite? You need to spit that out and chew better, honey. Cara. Cara's never had uneventful kiddings, so I'm not ever really surprised when she needs a little bit of assistance with her worm load for a hot day. But you can see she's a very stubborn goat who has weird ideas of how much she can fit in her mouth. But she's probably one of my favorites. She's a big goober, but she's a good goober and a good mama. Let me see if I can get over the fence line so you don't have a fence there. So, Miss Mia, my little light tan tiger dapple. Technically on her papers, she's a red tiger dapple. And her brother, Galahad, he is the red dapple. We're now registered. Yay! Such a silly thing, but to me it's like it makes it more real that they're here and that they're doing good. And so far, Mr. Galahad has, this is going to sound so weird to people who don't know me, but he has a wonderful form. And that is so reassuring because the only buck I had old enough to breed to Cara is not technically show qualified. He has a little bit of a split in his sack, and I was so worried that the baby was going to inherit that, and he didn't so far, because I'm always paranoid and don't trust it till they're a little bit bigger. And his sister looks to be one by one in her teats, so she took after Daddy. She has Daddy's personality, honestly. Very quiet compared to Mama and her brother. But we're really happy. Galahad is a huge sweetheart, very friendly, very personable. And Mia's just a nice quiet doe. We are keeping Mia. Her full name is FLP Merlin's Cara Mia, kind of honoring both sire and doe. And then baby's little brother's full name is FLP Merlin's Galahad, playing off of Knights of the Round Table and all that. So, and you can see they're both thick kids. We are very excited to see what they look like at 6 months old. We will probably have him up for sale closer to March. I want to let him get some size on him, and so I can truly make sure that we're just got good form all the way around, since he will be selling as a registered boar. So he will be my first off the farm registered boar baby I'll be selling. I have sold adults in the past, but they didn't come from my property. So hi honeys, you can see, aren't you cute? He's got the wrinkly little nose. Gonna be a big boy. Yeah, we got the wrinkly little nose. You see somebody rolling their eyes at me, but this is how I am. Alrighty. You see, we broke into one pumpkin, now we're breaking into the other. Kiko's. Alright.